Hello everyone, this is T Lotus and welcome to week 40 of my video journal. Week 40, I am ready. I haven't done a video in I'd say 3 weeks. I know I promised that I wouldn't miss a week once I hit week 36, but a lot has happened. Life has taken over and wasn't really able to do videos the last few weeks. A lot has happened since my last video and I want to catch you guys up to speed. And really all of the significance starts on the 10th of November. So I will start with that. As you guys know, I have been planning, my husband and I have been planning on having the labor salad. We've been talking about this for just about the entire pregnancy. And so in order to have an 11-11-11 baby, because 11 is my favorite number. And so we did that. We went to Studio City to a restaurant called Coyotes and we had the salad. I had a salad and so did my husband. We also had some other things. We had a pizza and some other things, but the salad is huge. And if you're on my Facebook, if you're my friend on Facebook, you saw the picture that I uploaded of how huge that salad is. And I ate that salad. Now, just to recap, 1999, I had that salad with number 3. And he was born 4 hours, well, my water broke 4 hours after I ate that salad, and 4 hours after my water broke, he was born. So we decided to do it again. With number 4, I tried to recreate the salad dressing myself, and it didn't work. So we had the opportunity this time around to go out there and eat the salad. And so we ate the salad, and from about, I don't know, a half hour after I finished eating the salad, I started having contractions. Significant contractions, but the contractions weren't consistent. And it turned out not to turn into any kind of active labor, but basically I call it a very long first phase of labor that I'm still going through right now, but I'll explain more. The next doctor's appointment that I had, which was this Tuesday, I found out that that I'm dilated. But something happened that weekend, the weekend after the 10th, that I kind of want to update you guys about. A lot of you know already. On the 13th of November, which was this past Sunday, there was an accident. I was involved in an accident. Basically, I was at a stop sign around the corner from my home and was about to take off, you know, from the stop sign when out of nowhere a yellow Hummer comes barreling down the street and crashes into my car. He crashes into my car and then he takes off. So essentially a hit and run. He hit my car so hard, the impact of the car made me do a full body whiplash. My airbags did not deploy and I ended up basically hitting the steering wheel with my head, my chest, and my belly. And then I flung back onto my seat, which collapsed horizontally. So I fell onto my back in the seat and was kind of bewildered, of course. About 5 cars passed me by. I know at least one of those cars saw the actual impact and saw the Hummer take off. That car actually turned the corner behind me and went down the street and passed me up, and 4 more cars passed me by. I finally rolled down the window and waved my hand out the window, and a nice gentleman finally came to my window, saw that I was visibly pregnant and said in Spanish, "She's pregnant." And then after that, I could have sworn there had been 20-25 people, but my oldest son, which I had my cell phone in my hand, so it was around the corner from my home, so I called my son, I called my husband, and I told my oldest son to please, you know, come to where I am. He told me there was about 10 or 15 people outside. They called 911. And then that was another traumatic experience because I didn't get out of the car normally. They had to put me on a straight board. I have a Nissan Quest, so they had to take me out of the car through the side door with a neck brace, and it was very, very uncomfortable. I live close to a hospital, but they didn't take me to that hospital. They took me to the nearest trauma center, which is about 15 minutes away. And at this trauma center, it was almost like an episode of ER or Grey's Anatomy, where there were like 15 to 20 people in the room waiting on me because they called ahead. And every one of those 15 or 20 people were doing something to me, literally. I mean, they were either pulling me, prodding me, poking me. Ma'am, I'm Dr. Such and Such, I'm going to check this. Ma'am, I'm Nurse this, I'm going to check that. You know, next thing you know, they're yanking my clothes off, and I'm yanking them back up, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, it was just very overwhelming, very scary. Once they figured out that I wasn't traumatically injured, meaning, you know, there wasn't no obvious broken bones or anything like that, they sent me up to labor and delivery, which was, at this particular hospital, the most dreary, the most insipid, the most saddest labor and delivery floor I've ever seen in my life. There were about 5 people in that room waiting on me. One's doing an ultrasound, the other one wants to check me. Mind you, I had not had a cervical or vaginal check throughout this whole pregnancy, and was looking forward to finding out how much I was dilated by my own OB. But I did find out that I was at that point 3.5 centimeters dilated. And so they wanted me to stay 24 hours, and I declined because once they did the ultrasound, Devin, thank goodness, was not affected by this. He's a trooper. He was moving and his heart was galloping, and he was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with the placenta, nothing wrong with him, nothing wrong with the fluid. I wasn't leaking or anything like that. And me, on the other hand, I was in a lot of pain, of course. I still am, but at that moment I was in a lot of pain. But I felt I could deal with that pain with my own doctors, so I decided to leave against medical advice. And why did I decide to leave against medical advice? Because November 13th is my son's birthday. And my son Jovan's birthday. He turned 12 that day, and we had his father and I had a wonderful meal with him for his birthday. I just dropped them off, was about to go back to the store to get some last minute things before the family had cake and ice cream with him, and this happened. So I wanted to get back home so that we could have that cake and ice cream. I felt I was okay enough, the baby was okay enough to do that. And sure enough, I didn't get home until about 11 o'clock, but we sang happy birthday to my baby. So all of this happened on the 13th. It's been less than a week. I have been in tremendous pain, my back. I went to see my perinatologist and my doctor this past Tuesday, and he basically told me because of my injuries and also my asthma, which was another issue. I had to, the day before the accident, I was in the hospital because of my asthma. But because of those two things, he wants me delivered. He wants to induce me. And I understood. My back is my biggest complaint, and the way, you know, I've been carrying the baby, and now with this injury, it's been you know, it's been really hard physically. So I, you know, told my doctor that, you know, okay, I do understand why you want to induce, but I really don't want to be, I don't want Pitocin, I don't want Cytotec or any of those chemicals. Is it possible, since I'm already dilated, if we could just try to break my water and see what happens? And so he agreed, told me to go talk to my OB. They work together. And when I talked to my OB, he agreed that he would try to do that today. And so, though my kids are playing in the other room. So, today, we went into the doctor's office. I went into my OB's office to basically get induced in his office and go home to labor, and naturally, as I had always planned. Mind you, I have been having contractions, like I said, since Thursday, so for about a week. And when he checked me, I find out that I am 4 centimeters dilated, 4 to 4.5 centimeters. So all those contractions have been doing something. He basically stripped my membranes. I thought he broke my water. But he didn't use that crochet hook thing that they normally do when they break your water in the hospital. I think he was trying to do it with his hand or with his fingers. He did something significant because he did that around 10:30 this morning, and I have been having significant contractions since then. I mean, painful, significant contractions, but nothing consistent that is leading up to active labor. So basically talked to the doctor today, and he says, well, if nothing else happens, if it doesn't pick up, then you go to the hospital tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and we will really, really break your water with the crochet hook and let you labor naturally. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to my doctor, Dr. Goslin, for being very supportive of natural birth, even in the hospital setting, and for just working with me and compromising with me on how I want to have this birth. Even though I'm injured, even though I've been through what I've been through, I really appreciate that, because not too many doctors are that flexible. So I'm very fortunate. On top of that, I am seeing more signs that labor is imminent because just recently I lost a huge part of my mucus plug. TMI, I know, but for those of you ladies who are following my labor, yeah, so you know what that means. So I got really excited a minute ago when I discovered that. So things are moving along, but they're just progressing slowly. And tomorrow morning, Dr. Goslin's going to make sure that he breaks that water and things kind of speed up. So really, that's what's been happening. As you can see, I'm sitting in front of, I don't know if you can see, I'm sitting in front of Devin's bed and his nursery area. And if I turn this camera around, I have the camera sitting in my new rocking chair. I promise I'm going to take pictures so that you can kind of see the whole thing and what it looks like. And I do have pictures of what it looked like before on my side of the room. But we're ready to meet baby Devin. And I just want to thank all of you for following me on YouTube, on Facebook, on pregnancy.org. I will be Facebooking from the hospital as much as I can, giving updates on my labor, and hopefully this time tomorrow there'll be a baby in my arms and we'll be welcoming Devin, our 5th and final, into the world. That's what it's all about. That's my husband making noises back there. So we're going on minute 14. I just want to say thank you. If you want to send me an email, you know where to send it, right there. Although it may take me a minute to respond to you because I will be giving birth tomorrow. And I'm pretty excited about that. So from that, hopefully I think I've filled you in on everything that's happened. And I just want to say thank you again. And I'm actually having another contraction right now as we speak. So I'm gonna go now, and thank you so much. And my next video will be with baby Devin. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.